Hey everyone, this is Dan coming at you from Car Flip Masters. Today we're gonna go over inspections. I'm gonna do just a brief synopsis of how we do the inspection so that you have an idea. I'll have all the class notes in this class so that you will have the inspection sheets. You'll know exactly what's going on. And then you'll also be able to see us do real inspections on plenty of cars. So we wanna go anywhere from trucks, cars, SUVs, different makes and models, so that we can really hone you in to make you successful in flipping cars. So first and foremost on inspections, I'm gonna go over just a quick tool list. Again, this will be on the notes as well. Scan tool. Scan tools, they're very inexpensive. You can probably get one from $20 to $50. And these will really come in handy, especially if the seller has cleared a code. We'll teach you how to check the monitor status for emissions. If someone cleared the check engine light, we're gonna teach you how you know that so that you don't get scammed. So that's what the scan tool will come in handy with. We're gonna do a class just on how to use the scan tool so that you guys can understand how everything works. Flashlight, super easy. I'm sure you all have one. You're gonna need this. If you're looking at a vehicle after work and it's dark, you're gonna want a flashlight. It's very important. So again, flashlight, super simple. Next, we are going to use rubber gloves. I personally don't like to get my hands dirty, so in any case, I always bring rubber gloves. So needless to say, 3 tools, pretty easy. No screwdrivers and pry bars and sockets. We're gonna stay out of that for now. We will have a more detailed course that's more intermediate, but in any case, this is gonna be the simple inspection so that you know at least a good synopsis of what's going on with the car so you can make a wise decision as to how much it's gonna cost to fix and how much can I give this person for the vehicle. So next, let's go over just a quick inspection. What I'll do first, I like going through the interior, open the door, check for any rust on the sill, or we call it the rocker panel. If you start to see rust, you know there's probably gonna be more rust in the vehicle. So you have to be aware of that. If that sill rocker panel looks nice and clean, chances are it may be a little bit cleaner. So in any case, check rust, even in the doors. I'll open all the doors, kind of check around there. If you do see some rust, chances are you may see some more in the vehicle. So something you gotta look out for. Next, when you're on the inside, check for, and when I first open the door, you'll check for the quality of the interior. Seats, are any seats ripped? How's the carpet look? How many stains are there? Can you get these stains out? What products do I need to try and get these stains out? So that's gonna be based on what you know and what we've taught you. We'll do our best. With detailing, it can get a little tricky. So needless to say, it's something that you will need to basically try out yourself to see what's gonna work so that we know we're gonna spend a lot of time cleaning these cars. A lot of cars that we get need a lot of TLC. So make sure that as you're looking at the vehicle, you can get an idea of, okay, how long is this gonna take me to clean? Some vehicles, 6-8 hours. Some vehicles we've had to pull seats out of the vacuum and shampoo. So something like that is, one, it's your labor, but it also makes the car look beautiful. So what we'll also do is after the detail's done, we'll go on eBay and find a set of new floor mats. And you can go online and we found floor mat sets for 50 bucks, 80 bucks. And when someone opens the door and they see brand new floor mats in the vehicle, it is incredible because it's the first thing that they see. You wanna make sure that their experience is the best that you can do with the product that you have. So in any case, as I'm sitting in there, we'll go to the master window switch. We'll check, make sure all the windows work, the door locks work. If there's a mirror switch, make sure all the mirrors work. Any kind of headlight switches, wiper, washer switches on the, maybe be on the right or left side. Is the steering wheel torn? How does the dashboard look? Is there any cracks in the radio? So those are the kinds of things you're looking for. If there is an issue, then you can, what we'll typically do is you can Google or eBay how much a radio is right there. And then you'll get an idea, okay, this radio is gonna cost me 50 bucks. I know that it's gonna need one, and that will be another negotiating tactic. So as I'm sitting in there, make sure, one of the most important things is making sure that it blows from defrost to your face to your feet. There are some times when it doesn't, and that can get a little tricky and expensive if it has to go to a repair shop. So that's one thing, make sure that works. Next is air conditioning. We're all in hotter climates, so AC needs to work. And if it doesn't work, again, that could be a problem. So when we're doing our inspections outside, we'll go over how to get an idea of, is the AC a problem? If it is, how can we look to see if it's something we can resolve quickly, or is it gonna be a little bit harder? So that's something, making sure the AC works, making sure if you hear some noise in the blower fan, there could be some mouse debris in there, so that's something that's gotta be taken out as well. So something that you'll need also is gonna be a labor guide, so you know how long this is gonna take. So we'll go over this and how to do it as quickly as possible so that you can make the deal happen and still succeed in a timely manner. So when you're still inside, I'll turn around, check the back area, see if any seats are ripped, see the quality of it. And then from there, we'll go outside. If I see rust, what I'll typically do is start at the back of the vehicle and I will check for any rust. So get on your back, gloves on. Also, glasses aren't a bad thing, because if it's a rusty vehicle and you're up underneath it, you're gonna need glasses because rust is just going to fall regardless. So I'll go under there. Recently I had a 2007 Dodge Dakota. I opened all the doors, no rust whatsoever. Get underneath, tons of rust. Starting to rot, fuel tank straps are starting to rot. So we know we gotta dive a little bit deeper into it, because fuel tank straps may be something simple or it could get into something more complex. So needless to say, once we got there, I started just looking for more rust, making sure there's no rot. Typically what I'll do is I'll take my hand and knock the frame. If we get any rot, then you'll know. If it's just surface rust, then you'll also know, and we'll teach you how to check that out as well. So one thing, very important, rust, rot, we get a lot of it in the Northeast. And I've had a lot of issues with frames in the past that we've missed. So we don't want you to make the same mistakes, because we've lost a lot of money with it as well. So in any case, we'll go over that the best we can to our knowledge, so that at least everyone knows how to check for it. Next, any leaks in the rear. Do you see anything? Rear differential, checking the axles, checking the axle boots, if there's any grease flinging out. Those are things that, again, we're gonna go over, but just an idea of what we're checking. Next, I'll move down the line a little bit to the center of the car. You can see the exhaust. I'll give it a quick tap just to make sure. If you hear a rattle, then let's look into that rattle. It could be something as simple as a heat shield, or it could be a catalytic converter. So we want to make sure we know what's going on, so that if it's a catalytic converter, we're gonna know the cost of it. We're gonna know it's more expensive, and if we're gonna do the deal, we're gonna have to get a pretty good deal on it. So after that, I'll move towards the front of the vehicle, and I always like to bring a second person just for safety purposes, and also to give you a hand, and I'll go over what we use the second person for. So as I'm underneath the vehicle, I'll check for any leaks. If I see the oil pan leaking or something of that nature, depending on the leak, if it's just a minor sweating, typically what we can do is clean it off, see where the leak may be coming from, resolve it. Or if it's not bad at all, there's sometimes we can clean it off and just leave it that way. So I'll have someone in the vehicle, and what they'll be doing is turning the steering wheel back and forth. And that'll check basically the front steering system. And you can put your hand on each joint that there is, and we'll show you again how to do that. And as you have your hand on that joint, you'll be able to feel if there's any play or not. Or if you're getting a clunking, you'll feel it in your hand, and you'll know, okay, maybe it needs a tie rod. Maybe it needs a sway bar end link. Maybe there's a clunk as you're driving it. You notice that on the test drive. So from there, pop the hood. We'll check to see what the engine, the condition looks like. Because if the vehicle looks like it's been sitting for a while, there's times where mice got into it, and you got to pop the air filter out. And again, I want to go over this with you guys hands-on, but these are things that we're going to check. Are there any leaks on top of the engine? Are there cracked hoses? Are the coolant hoses spongy? So again, I'm excited to do that with everyone, because I want everybody to succeed in this. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of passion. Joe has a lot of passion in it. So in any case, as you find these issues, Joe will go over negotiating tactics and percentages, as far as maybe knowing what your cost is going to be versus what you should pay for the vehicle versus what your profit's going to be. As you're meeting with the seller and you're going over these issues, this is just a quick tip, but please make sure you don't beat the car up too badly. And what I mean is, if you're nitpicking every issue, typically it'll create a hostile environment. So needless to say, it's something that you want to keep cordial. You want to keep the situation positive for you and for the seller. Anyways, I am Dan from Car Flip Masters. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you next class. Hey guys, it's Dan with Car Flip Masters. Hope everyone is well today. We're not going to be in the field today. What we're going to go over is just how important inspections can be when you're purchasing a vehicle. It's basically, I would say, there's a lot of important things, but one of the most important things, because you're always going to make your money when you're buying the vehicle. That's where the money is made. When you're selling it, depending on how much reconditioning is needed, there's profit or there's not. So in saying that, most importantly, and again, we're going to aid in this in many of ways because it's just something that I'll keep pushing because of how important it is. But in any case, I also find with inspections, it can give people some fear that want to get into the flipping industry. Reason being is a lot of people aren't mechanical. Not everyone has tools. Not everyone has a lot of money to invest to do this, but I will say thrift store for tools, Harbor Freight for tools. If you're looking for something, and again, we've went over that in previous videos, but look back, take some notes so that you know exactly what you're getting into, so that you can be prepared when you get there, professional, and make the deal happen while nicely calling out all the flaws in the vehicle. Look up, again, like I've said in the past, but look up things that may fail frequently on these vehicles, or things that rot or rust if you're in our area of like New England or something of that nature where we get a lot of road salt that eats away things, brake lines. So just make sure you are aware of what you're getting yourself into. But also, don't be fearful. You have to start somewhere. And most people that are in this position starting off with car flipping, it's difficult. Like anything, it's difficult, but it's also very profitable. So in any case, inspections, again, I want to just take the time to let you all know how important it is. Also, not to be fearful. It's something that's going to be uncomfortable. Maybe those of you who've done it before, it'll be a little bit easier, but in any case, again, inspections, always keep it to the forefront because that is where your money's going to be made. If you know it's going to cost XYZ to recondition this vehicle, then you need to make sure it's built into your margin and what you can pay for the car. So in any case, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.